for his brave action, his decisive action to end an imminent threat to this community. We had a number of agencies that responded to assist us: the Georgia State Patrol, the Sheriff's Department of Fulton County, the Georgia State University Police, as well as the MARTA Police. And then the FBI and the ATF also responded with resources. Since this is an officer-involved shooting, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation will take lead in this case. They will be gathering all the facts and giving us the information that we need. But I want to reiterate, one shooter, he shot 3 individuals inside of the food court, and an officer of the Atlanta Police Department acted decisively, placed himself in danger, and ended that threat to the community. And I want to commend the men and women of the police department for their work. And then behind me, I have a number of investigators that have been here gathering information that will be handing their work off to the GBI.
Yes, cycles, right?
Yes, that is correct. As our mayor is pointing out, the person that we have in custody is a convicted felon. He has served prison time for an armed robbery, and he has 11 previous arrest cycles. This is an individual that should never have been possessing a gun, an individual that should never have placed this community in harm, but that an officer of this department was able to stop that threat. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Both mayor and chief, the idea that an officer was nearby and was able to respond in the way that he was able to and stop this threat before anyone else could get hurt. Could you guys go into that a little more? I mean, I'm sure both of you are proud, but can you explain that?
Yeah, we're very thankful for our extra job officers working here at this mall location at the Peachtree Center. He was there, he was on the scene, he was focused, he kept his mind about him, and he was able to bring safety to all these people that were in that food court by stopping this individual who had already shot 3 people. How many more could he have shot? A shot had extra job officer from Atlanta Police Department not been there. So we thank him, we thank his team members for being there to help assist and to be able to take that individual into custody and to bring safety to everyone else. So we thank him for being there. And we also thank this mall for having their camera system. The camera system allows us to be able to see what's happening, to be able to accurately know what occurred so that we can properly prosecute the individual that was involved.
Was this random, or did he know the person he got to?
I think the investigation will play that out. He did physically attack someone before he shot him, and so we're going to have to determine how did he know that individual.
And Chief, I know you just announced from last year how many guns you took off the streets that didn't need to be there. Does this just emphasize that need to keep focusing on getting guns out of the hands of people who never should have had them to begin with?
Right. This was a convicted felon that can't possess a weapon, should not, and we saw what the harm did. We have work to do, ourselves and our partners. And Ryan, the mayor said it best. This was an officer, as we watched citizens scrambling for safety, put himself in the line of fire to stop this threat. So it's something heroic to watch. And our partners, we want to thank them, because for a minute we didn't know that we have another shooter. And we had multiple agencies, the Sheriff's Department, MARTA Police, GSU Police, all responded to help us search the area, and we want to thank them for responding as well.
Chief, are all of the victims critically injured?
We believe everyone will survive at this point. Those that were taken to Grady Hospital were classified as critical. And I will say this. After we ended the threat in the food court, after you saw the courage of your police department, you saw the compassion of your police department. The officers knelt to their knees and immediately applied a tourniquet and started applying life-saving measures to the individual that had brought harm to that area and to the others as well. So both the courage and the compassion of our police department on view today.
Chief, what other details can you give us about the alleged shooter?
That is all we know at this time. Where we believe he's from. We do know he has previous arrest cycles. He is a convicted felon.
But Chief, the witnesses suggest that the last 2 people who were shot may have been shot at random, that they were not connected to whatever beef the shooter may have had. Do you believe that is correct?
You know, that's a possibility, but we will know at the end of the investigation. We know there's a physical contact with one, and then there were 2 others that were shot.
All right, Chief.
Yes. We will not know that until the GBI completes their investigation. We know there was 1 person firing at bystanders. We know there was an officer that returned fire. So 2 individuals that discharged firearms.
That does it.
The time it took the shots, the time that off-duty officer arrived, how long was that?
Oh my.
Moments. It was very quick. You can watch how fast that officer sprung into action. I mean, had he not been there, things could have gotten worse. So he was there within moments, within a minute, you know.
The witnesses also say that the officer confronted the man and he was laying on the ground and was telling him not to reach for the gun before the officer shot him. Is that what happened?
So we can tell you that the individual was armed when our officers first encountered him and remained armed until another officer kicked the gun away.
And Chief, just to reiterate on the victim and suspects, you have the suspect and the victim at one hospital and then the other two victims at another
That is
hospital?
correct, sir.
Did you recover the suspect's gun?
That has been recovered. It was recovered by the officers, yes.
Can you describe what kind of gun it was?
Not that it was a handgun.
All right, thank you, everyone. Make sure you stay tuned to the Public Affairs website for the Atlanta Police Department for all of your updates. If you don't know that website,
All right, you were just listening there to a live update from Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shearbaum and Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, giving us a lot more information about what unfolded this afternoon. We do know, first off, that the gunman is in custody after shooting through 3 people today at the food court there in downtown Atlanta.
Now, we know that this started with an altercation. He met one person, ended up getting into some sort of altercation with that person, shot that person, encountered 2 other people in that food court, and that's when he shot those 2 people. Atlanta police explaining to us that they learned this from video footage that they were able to obtain from the food court area. They were able to watch that and see this all unfold. An off-duty officer that was there actually ended up encountering that officer, encountering this person, and then taking him down.
Yeah, and stopping the threat, which is just so glad that he was able to be there in that time. We also know among the victims, a 47-year-old, 69-year-old, and a 70-year-old, all said to be okay. We heard from the police chief that they do expect everyone to survive, but just a frightening scene unfolding today, and a lot more that we're still waiting to learn about, perhaps what was behind this. But again, we know that that gunman, a convicted felon, according to the police chief, who had been arrested multiple times.
Yes, we are going to be working to learn some more details about this. The GBI now taking over this investigation because it was an officer-involved shooting. As soon as we learn some more details, we'll bring that to you. We'll see you after the break.
Yeah.